What is matrix healing?
Okay, that is a difficult question because it is so big actually that it's really hard to put it in a box, but we'll start with something. I call it Matrix Works. We call it a consciousness technology. So it is something you can live as a consciousness and you can use as a tool to transform yourself, transform others, and use it as a modality, but it is more than a modality. It's actually something you that incorporates into your life and changes your mindset, basically, about life.
So if I were to say to you, Anne-Marie, you know what, I need something, I'm not sure what I need, but I'm going to come to you for a matrix healing session, what would you do? How would that unfold?
Yeah, so you come to me for a session, and I set my sessions normally for an hour, but if I meet you somewhere in the park, I can also work with you for 5 minutes or something. But how it works is you come with a special intent, an issue you want to work with, and I will have a chat with your information field around you and connect you and myself to the bigger field, and then see what comes up, and I follow that information, and we have tools. We call it the 2-point technique, or we can time travel backwards and forwards. We can go in parallel universes. And
are we talking about things like regression therapy here?
No, it's all very different to things that I've known previously, but at the end everything is in it as well. So there can be things like past life coming up, but I don't regress you into the memory of it. It's almost like I take a torch and I shine the light on that for a moment until the energy shifts. So I'm seeing you as a whole bunch of patterns, and the patterns that need to shift stand out, and I just have put my awareness on there, and that allows them to shift.
So there's something a little bit sort of quantum about all of this, isn't it?
Exactly,
it's all
yes.
About intention.
Yes.
And so the integrity of the practitioner is going to be hugely important here.
Yes, although it's not me who's doing anything at the end. I'm just facilitating, and I'm just holding the space for it, basically. Yeah, and the quantum physics comes in because I'm the observer, basically, who observes all your particles and has an intention, and you come with an intention, and that allows for change to come in at the end, for grace to come in.
For grace to come in.
Yes,
I like that saying. Where did you learn matrix healing?
I heard about it very coincidentally, as it always is. A client came to me once. I come from bodywork and spinal alignment, things like that, and a client who I worked for a long time just had a quick experience with that, and his shoulder pain's been gone since then. So I stored that in the back of my mind, Googled it only a year later, and found that person called Richard Bartlett in America teaches that as matrix energetics, it's called. So he's traveling all over the world holding big workshops, 400 people, great workshops, and as the coincidences were, they were just around my corner of my parents' home that year, so I started training with him.
Was that in Germany?
That was in Germany, yes, yeah.
And then shortly after that you came to South Africa?
Yes, so that was on a holiday when I visited them, came back here and worked with it on myself, on friends, on animals, and was just totally blown away by this. That was something I felt I always looked for, and there it was. And then started playing with it. It's very playful.
It's playful.
Yes,
I like that. Energy is often playful. But tell me, how long have you been doing that now, and is that your full-time job?
I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now, and it blends in very nicely into what I've been doing before. It's the bodywork, Dawn method. I brought that to South Africa from Germany. And so it blended in, first of all, into my bodywork, because it made it much more profound and also easier to shift physical patterns. and then slowly it developed in unique sessions, and I also felt the urge to share it. So I started about a year ago to start teaching workshops for the public as well.
Where are you teaching your workshops?
In Constantia or Noordhoek. Yes, there's one coming up soon.
There is.
Yes,
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you will learn the background of the quantum physics, the new science that's explaining all these phenomena. I mean, Richard Bartlett's book was called The Physics of Miracles, so that's where we're going at the moment. That change is instant, and that you can all tap into that very easily. So you learn these things, and you learn the basic techniques, and you will have experiences already and feel the field talking to you.
You used an interesting phrase there. You said change is instant. We're going to have a music break now, and when we come back, we're going to talk about that. You're listening to The Power Surge on Taxi Radio, fueled by Paul Bothner Music, empowered by Cape Town Tourism. I am a rather croaky Berry Gargan, in conversation with Anne-Marie Hagen, who's telling me about matrix healing. And just before the break, we spoke about instant gratification. So you spoke about how things can change instantly. Anne-Marie, unpack that for me, because I don't really understand it.
Okay, instant gratification is maybe a bit misleading because they've got a bit of a negative tone to it.
Okay.
I perceive in our society. So instant change. I feel it's a kind of a new energy coming in now, where change can be easy, and it can be light, and can be playful, and it can be very fast, or basically instant. So versus the old paradigm where you have to go back into the trauma, it can be like tears and strain and hard. When we look at the information field and communicate with that, there is no time lapse. There is no time at any rate. It's just our perceived time. So things can change instantly, from a spine of scoliosis going into a better curve in the blink of an eye, basically. But on the other hand, patterns can also work themselves into a different state over time. So it's not always instant gratification. You come here, I give you a treatment, and you come home.
And you go home
and
fixed.
That's it, yes, yeah. So we don't know, but this happens quite a lot, yeah.
So in your experience, somebody coming to you, would they need to, it could be anything between one treatment and how many? How many would be the norm?
Yeah. So in this method, there is no rules. There's no, this is how it works. I do A, then I do B. We follow completely the intuition, basically. And mostly things can change in one session. And often things I'll contest or check with the field, basically, when should I see this person again. So I'll see them in 2 weeks again, and again in a month. So there's sometimes layers to unravel a little bit. So 3 sessions. But the other day I had a girl on the campground in the holiday. She said, I'm scared of the dark. Can you do something? We stood 5 minutes by the car, and that was it. See, she's not scared of the dark anymore.
Oh, that's great. I should bring my son to you.
So
now, tell me, that's actually very, very interesting, because what I'm hearing from you is that you can work with things that are happening on a mental level or an emotional level, as well as things that are happening on a physical level.
Yes, we can work with anything. We can work with the environment, with the planet, with a car, with your financial situation. You can bring anything out, because we see everything as patterns. Everything we on our earth or in our universe is patterns of light and information that just show up in different ways.
That's interesting to me. Let's unpack that a little bit, because those patterns of information, how similar are they? Are they in terms of, for instance, the information, the pattern of information in the earth? Is that being reflected in our lives? Does the earth reflect us, or do we reflect the earth?
And that's where quantum physics helps to understand that a bit, because we grew up with a Newtonian way of seeing the world, that everything is not connected. It's like a machine. It's got fixed rules, and you kind of can control that. And now the quantum physics shows us that everything is completely interconnected. So and everything is not fixed. There's a saying by Sri Aurobindo: there is no laws, there's only suggestions. So quantum physics shows us that if a pebble drops here, it affects the whole basically. Yeah. So if we work with ourselves, we affect everything around us, and that includes the earth, and it includes your neighbor, and it includes your dog as well.
It's interesting because the earth herself is in such a state of turmoil at the moment. Last week, on one day, in 6 countries, there were 7 volcanoes that erupted. It doesn't even hit the main headlines anymore. There was that huge earthquake in Nepal, and of course all the other smaller earthquakes following that. So the earth herself is very obviously in a state of turmoil and flux and shift and movement at the moment. Are you seeing that reflected in the lives of the people who consult with you?
Yes, definitely, especially the last 2-3 weeks. A lot of people, and I felt that myself as well, feeling quite unstable and a bit hanging in the air, not feeling your sturdy ground on your feet, and also having physical conditions that they couldn't grasp where that came from, or body work wouldn't shift it. And people also just couldn't say what was actually wrong. They couldn't grab it, what was wrong. So that's definitely, we all, and especially if you're a bit sensitive, you will feel that turmoil going around you. And what we first of all trying to do that in Matrix Works, we do not label things or judge things. So it's nothing bad going on, or it's nothing to fix at the end. Yeah, there's. But we can definitely have tools that ground us and that connect us to the earth, and that just brings out the trust that everything is perfect like it is. Also, it looks not perfect to us many moments, and we can invite transformation with light and ease, basically.
I want to ask you about that. About what do we do about that? Because how do we tell when something is planetary energy that's affecting us, or when it's something more personal? How do you manage to unwrap that one?
Okay, Richard Bartlett would now say there's no planet, there's no you, and there's no me. There's only the field, and you can replace that. There's only God, or there's only Great Spirit, whatever. So we cannot separate ourselves from that. So everything reflects in everything. And but how do we do?
Yes, how do we do that? What do we do with it?
I mean, for us, we have little tools to center us, like a 2-point technique that we use, where it is like your intention can be to ground yourself and to calm yourself and to be centered and in your heart space. That is a big thing for us. And with that intention and that 2-point technique, holding 2 points, that just falls into place again. And then that can ripple out in your environment, and it will definitely hold a pattern for the whole planet, basically.
Can you tell our listeners something that will enable them to actually do that?
Yes, yeah, we can.
Okay, can you take us through a short exercise like that?
Absolutely.
Great. What do we have to do?
Okay, so not recommended when you're driving a car, although I'm used to it, so I can do it in the car. But if you have a quiet moment, just a minute somewhere, that you first of all, we're trying to drop into our heart field. That's the start for all of us. And you can imagine yourself that you shrink yourself into a little person in your head, and you put yourself on a water slide in your head that circles down, and it plunges into a pool that's in your chest, where your physical heart sits. And from there you look out into the world. That's basically your center point, and that's something you can always do when you walk around. And where am I in relation to my heart? And just plunge yourself into that heart pool again. That's a nice little exercise to do.
Yes, absolutely, that is. How many of us actually do try to live heart-centered lives, though?
I think it's just starting.
It's growing, though,
yes,
isn't it?
It's growing, definitely, yeah. And it is, and that's my passion probably as well, to show how easy that is to every now and again drop into the heart again and work from the heart, and then life unfolds differently. Synchronicities unfold, and it's magical, basically.
There is a lot of magic, actually, in life and in the ordinary, everyday moments, I find. But the thing is that what I'm hearing from you is that there are lots of different modalities that really aim to do the same thing, to bring you into a heart space. And I don't think of this as a modality, but I do think of heartmath.org. I don't know if you know that organization. You do, I can see that from your response. Also doing some wonderful work to help people to actually connect in that heart space.
Yes, we use quite a bit of scientific research from them as well to show what the heart actually is and what an impact it has, and how we can use it. Yes, yeah.
It's interesting that we've always thought about, we talk about following our hearts, but we've never really done that as a human race, have we?
Yeah,
we've always been very, very head-centered.
Exactly. That's how we grew up. Left-hand brain, the analytical brain is the boss, basically, forgetting completely that there's something else. And there's old cultures who've lived that heart-centeredness, and that's coming up again. I think we remember.
So we're able to learn from those memories?
Yes, or from the teaching that come up from different areas of the world now, from the indigenous people in South America, or from new things like science, heart math, or quantum physics. Yeah.
You spoke about Richard Bartlett's book. What other reading material is there if anybody wanted to learn more about matrix healing? Is that the only book out there?
He's written 2 books. The one is called Matrix Energetics, and the second one is more interesting. It's called The Physics of Miracles. And then his teaching partner, Melissa Joy Johnson's got a new book out that's a little bit more feminine and easier to read. That is called M. Joy, Practically Speaking. And then what happened when Richard Bartlett found this thing, matrix energetics, Frank Kinslow, also from America, started developing a similar idea, and he's written a lot of books. Frank Kinslow, Quantum Entrainment, and his last book I really enjoyed. It starts, There's Nothing to Do. I forgot the rest of the title, but
that's the start of it.
Exactly,
I like that already.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let's have a music break, and we'll be back with this conversation after that. To the Power Surge on Taxi Radio, fueled by Paul Bothner Music, empowered by Cape Town Tourism. I am Berry Gargan, and I'm in conversation with Anne-Marie Hagen, who does matrix healing, and she's going to talk us through a 2-point?
2-point.
Through a 2-point.
Yes.
Okay, so how does that go? And this is something that everybody can do at home. That's going to do what for them? What is their intention?
So my first intention is just to center them, or center everyone, and then I'll drop an intention in that you'll see now, that you will feel physically.
Okay.
So something grounding, centering, peaceful.
Wonderful, wonderful. I can't wait.
Okay, so it's very easy. We start again with dropping into our heart. You remember, or if you haven't heard, just shrink yourself into a little person, put yourself in on a slide in your head, and slide down through the head, through the throat, into your chest, and imagine there's a big splashing pool, and you jump into that heart pool, and from there you're seeing the world now and experiencing yourself. And then you take your left hand and just feel the tips of your fingers, just being aware of your left hand and the fingers, basically, palm of your fingers. And then you're going to add and bring your right hand opposite and feel the right hand fingers, yeah? And now you want to connect these two. So imagine you're drawing a line between both hands and both fingers. Could be like a smiley face, like a smile, or you can make it all fancy, a rainbow or a light bridge, but it could just be a simple line as well. So now you're just being aware of both hands and both fingertips, and the connection, that line between. And you can make that space a little bit bigger, and you can feel that connection stays. You can move your hands up or down, move them around, and just follow that connection. Just feeling whatever you do. You could even have an obstacle between. You could have a table in between or your leg in between your hands, and you can still feel that connection. And then you place your hand again opposite, feeling that connection. And I'm telling you to drop a word into the space between your hands. And the first word you can drop into your hands or in between the hands is peace. Just imagine the letters peace being between your hands. Noticing both hands, noticing the connection, and just feeling in your body what that feels like. And then we're going to drop another word into the space, and that is earth. Put the letters, the word earth, between your hands. And just notice the difference. Notice how that feels like. And then relax again.
Oh, that's lovely. My hands felt very warm. I felt a lot of warmth coming into my hands.
Yes, yeah. Did you feel anything in your body, around your body?
Actually, I was very aware of that warmth flowing through my body.
Yes, yeah.
But very much focused in the hands.
Yes, yeah. So it's a nice exercise. I do that often before I go to sleep. I stand in front of my bed and I just drop any word in that comes into my mind or anything that I need at the moment. Presence, purpose, love.
Healing.
Sleep, healing, whatever. Yes, yeah.
Wonderful. That's actually very useful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just a small exercise, and that I've had feedback also that it brings you into this meditative, peaceful state
I'm
very
feeling that.
instantly without sitting now for an hour meditating.
That's also
Yes,
interesting because I'm feeling that meditation itself has changed over the last few years. And I've noticed that meditation is not the same. There's not that need to sit for an hour.
Yes, yeah.
It's almost as if meditation is a space that you carry with you all the time.
Exactly, and you can just drop into that any moment, basically.
Yes,
and
whenever
you can drop out of it again. Yes.
And it brings your consciousness into presence.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That is what it is, yeah.
So what does matrix healing say about presence, about the power of presence?
Because we are trying with matrix energetics to get out of our head and into our heart. In the heart there is only presence. And also connect to our right brain. So our left brain is the one that also experiences time and has thoughts and plans into the future and analyzes and sorts everything and filters everything. But the heart space and the right brain, they're not connected to this linear time and to this planning ahead. So our practice is always drop into the heart, get out of your left brain with some tools and tricks, basically, connect to the right brain, and then all there is the present.
Anne-Marie, it seems like there's a bit of a paradigm shift here, because when you talk about the left brain and you talk about how that's all the mental, it's about the image, it's about the thought process, it's about being in the mind, or the future or the past, a little bit more than the present, but it's also sinking down into the heart and living through that space makes it very difficult for us to be a different person at work, for instance, and at home. You know what I mean? In times past, it was quite normal and accepted to have one persona at work and then to go home and be a completely different person once you were behind your closed door. And being in the heart space makes that very difficult.
I think we can connect them both. I mean, ideally, I'm fortunate to work in this field, so I don't have to be in the left brain so much. But I do also have to write my emails. I have to send my flyers out. So we do not want to now just abandon the left brain or send it off. We definitely need that. Otherwise, our reality would be so overwhelming we couldn't even deal with it. So we need that, but we need moments and gaps in our lives where we can switch and integrate, and in general integrate the right brain more so they work together better.
Yes, no, that's exactly what I'm meaning. And it's almost like a coming into alignment and giving ourselves permission to be authentic.
Exactly, yes, yeah.
Because I think authenticity is possibly one of the key words, isn't it?
That's actually a very interesting one, yes, yeah, because it peels off the layers of things that you create and that you're not, yes, yeah, bring you back to that who you are really, to your essence, yeah.
One of the difficult things about that in this world, though, is that it's easy to do that for yourself, but when you look around you and you find yourself in a world where very often there are people with agendas that may not be heart-centered, and it's very difficult to really hold that when one is feeling, and I'm thinking of people, for instance, who may be victims of violence, who may be victims of whatever, and I know that the word victim is in itself a very interesting and controversial word, but people who may find themselves in circumstances where they don't feel safe, where they do feel threatened by the behavior, the agendas of people around them that don't really sit well in their own hearts. And how does one deal with that?
I find this is such a great tool and medium to change your reality, actually. So the understanding of matrix works or matrix energetics gives you, empowers you to understand that you can actually change your reality, that you are not a victim, and that you can choose. You have the choice, and that's not on not necessarily the conscious level. You have to go a little bit deeper to do that. And it gives you a tool to deal with your life. So it's very practical. If I go out in the morning, I 2-point myself to get to town safe and in perfect timing and having the best possible outcome of my day. And that's where my day and my energy lines then. So for
energy
me,
flows where attention goes.
Exactly, yes, yeah. So then the fear of anything happening just falls away because and that there's no resonance then anymore. That because we always also say vibration attracts the same. So if there's a resonance of fear or an expectation of this is something's going to happen, that's what might come into my life. So if I choose and with these tools I can play with that in a very playful way, things align.
Earlier you said that there are no laws, only suggestions. However, what we're talking about now is one of those cosmic laws. We're talking about the law of attraction. I've got a list in front of me, actually, of other laws that completely randomly and non-coincidentally, I suppose, we talk about the law of creation. We talk about the great law, of course, as you sow, so shall you reap. We talk about the law of humility. What you refuse to accept will continue for you. We talk about the law of growth. Wherever you go, there you are. We talk about the law of responsibility. Wherever there is something wrong in my life, there is something wrong in me. We talk about the law of connection. We talk about the law of focus, the law of giving and hospitality and generosity. We talk about the law of here and now, and we talk about the law of change. So all of these laws, which are cosmic laws, how do they fit into, but there are only suggestions? Because these are going to stay there no matter what.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic. I think these laws are beautiful and wonderful. And Yeah, if we would use the word rule or law as the same thing, I just hear Richard Bartlett's voice again saying, no rules are rules, and you make your own rules. So if you look at your life, we often have conscious and very unconscious rules how our lives go. So, for example, I will receive money if I work hard. So that could be a rule. Or healing takes time, or if I make
so
a
it's
mistake.
our belief system.
Exactly. So it's our belief system. So the suggestion is just change your rules, and this is a very useful change of rules. We don't know at the end. I mean, this universe is so complex, and the field is so great that I couldn't say I know. I just have to say I don't know. But it's very useful rules we should use, and they sound great.
Yeah, they do. I suppose it's also about being fully in alignment, isn't it, with your soul purpose? Because if you are in alignment with your soul purpose, then you are in alignment with the cosmic laws. That would be a presupposition there.
Yes, I mean, for me, it's the full trust that the field, that source or whatever you call it, has the best laws ever. So I'm aligning with that, but I don't exactly know what they are. But
again, we're back to intention then.
Exactly. So intention of I'm aligning with this, and it'll show itself by showing up every moment in a different way, and that's how I will learn what that looks like.
Do you teach children?
That's a goal for me for next year, to start teaching children. Yes, yeah.
Because it sounds to me like these are useful tools that you could actually really give to children to empower them.
Absolutely.
As they're growing up.
Yes, there's lots of schools in Germany who started teaching kids, and it sounds amazing. So we're going over this year again, and I will connect with these people and then bring it here.
Oh wow,
yes,
that sounds fantastic. So we'll be in touch with you about that.
Yes,
because we'd
absolutely.
like to know a little bit more about that. And I'm thinking of my own children, and I'm thinking, wow, I'd really like to teach them that.
Yes.
Where do we contact you? Do you have a website?
Yes, I've got website just in, it's bodyandsoulworks.com, works with a X, bodyandsoulworks.com, and dawnmethodsa.com. Also got some information.
Dawn Method.
Yeah, DORN method. That's my old website, and the other one is my new website. So
that's fine. Let's just repeat the new website. It is
bodyandsoulworks.com. Yeah.
And works is WORX.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, bodyandsoulworks.com. Do you have a Facebook page?
Not an official one yet, just for my matrix students at the moment. So
I see.
Yes,
okay, so we'll allow you to keep that one private for now.
Yes, yeah.
Just for now. Okay, that's super. So that is the best way to contact you, is to go through your
exactly.
website.
Go check my website. I can give you, you can find me on Facebook on my name as well, Anna Maria Hagen. And I'd love to share this and see you at courses, talks, sessions.
Anna-Marie, you mentioned a few minutes ago about a course that you've got coming up. When is that, and where is it?
The 23rd, 24th of May. It's a 2-day course, Saturday, Sunday, and it will be probably in Nordhoek or Constantia. I'm confirming the venue end of the week.
What is the cost of a course?
The cost is 2,000 rand.
What's for 2 days?
For 2 days, includes teas and snacks. We're sharing lunch. We're getting a manual, and we're going to have lots of experience and learning. And after that, I'm offering a monthly free practice group just to get together and keep going with this and keeping the energy.
And when we do, if one does your course, what do they get a certificate afterwards? Or are they able to start practicing?
At the moment, I'm growing this organically, so you're able to start practicing on yourself, on your friends, and on others. And as you get more confident, you can blend it into whatever you do. At the moment, I haven't got a certification yet, but I think that will come also in the next few months. And
is this course for people who have already done other modalities?
It's for everyone. Yeah. Sometimes it's better to know nothing, but it's so lovely you can bring it in any work you do, any therapeutic work, anything basically. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds fascinating. Well, I think we have do we have news coming up, Nana? We have CP standing by with the news. Okay, and we're going to continue our conversation just after the news, if you're okay with that, Anne-Marie. So don't run away just yet. Okay. You're listening to The Power Surge on Taxi Radio, fueled by Paul Bachner music, empowered by Cape Town Tourism and Cape Town Tourism's coffee. Thank you, Cape Town Tourism, for that. That's actually such a bonus. I'm Mary Gargan, and I'm in conversation with Anne-Marie Hagen. I've been so enjoying this conversation, Anne-Marie. I'm very sorry that we're going to have to wind it up pretty soon.
I know, I'll stay another hour.
I think my other guest might have a problem with that. But she's fascinating as well. It's Ayanda Nabi, and she's going to be talking to us about rites of passage.
Oh,
and I love this cultural exchange because one of the myths of our humanity, I think, in a way, is that we are so separate.
Yes.
And it's so nice to speak to people of different cultures and really learn at a very deep level what they're about and discover that actually we're all human.
Wonderful.
It's amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But right back to matrix energetics, and I just wanted to ask you if there's anything that if there was one thing that you could actually say to people that you would really like them to take away with them today from your conversation about matrix healing, what would that be?
That's probably also not a coincidence that you ask me that, because yesterday I had such an interesting question coming into my mind that I feel like I'd like to share that. And we work with matrix energetics also with open-ended question to get your subconscious giving you answers. So the question for me was, what would I feel like if I would trust the field, and you can put the different names of whatever suits in your life, God or the Father or the Source. What would it feel like for you if you would trust the field fully and deeply all the time in any minute of your life? And then just feel that, ask yourself that question and feel in your body how that feels. Because that's what I did yesterday, just actually driving my car somewhere. And I felt such an amazing feeling in my body that just felt that's the right direction to go. Because all the worries, all the fear, all the doubt, everything just melts away. And if we can't stay in that state, just every now and again ask yourself, what would I feel like if I would just fully trust the field, the source in every moment?
That is a huge question. And that is really, really something that I think is to take home with us. So thank you. Thank you so, so much. I've really enjoyed this time, this conversation. It's been fantastic. I've got so many other things that I'd love to have asked you about. But I think that our time has come to an end, and thank you. So come and visit me again.
Definitely. Thank you so much for giving me the time.
You're welcome. Come and have coffee in the studio with me next time.
This little oasis here, definitely.
Thanks so much, Anne-Marie. Take care.